What up, guys? TheMADScientist7890 here, MVPScheer. This is our STS Express Wrestling, and we're going to do the top 10 big stories of 2011. I guess the big things to just come out of the year. Since it's the end of the year, we wanted to do this video here. Mr. Shear here had the idea for. Apparently, he always has the ideas for our videos.
I never said that. I wrote it down on the piece of paper this time. Remember last time he had the sheet?
You wrote down just all the stuff.
It's not even in order right now.
Just remember the last video we did. I had a giant ass piece of paper with a lot of writing on it. This is a tiny ass piece of paper with like literally no writing.
Because this isn't like a roster.
It doesn't matter.
It's just notes.
All right, we're going to number 10. One of the big stories of this year from TNA, coming out of TNA number 10, is Turning Point, which is, I guess, arguably considered, in my opinion and in his opinion, the worst TNA pay-per-view of all time.
See, that's the thing. That's all I want to say about this show. I texted him when Eric Young and Robbie E, when they were coming out in the entrances, and I told him, this card looks terrible. It's going to be the worst pay-per-view ever for TNA.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's not really that big of a deal because you said that for the last 4 TNA pay-per-views before Turning Point. That it was
I really meant it on this one.
You really meant it?
You really meant it on
this one. Okay.
I was like, wow, this card has nothing I want to see at all. Why am I watching it? I'm pretty sure I gave like the first 2 matches duds.
The match quality, for a couple matches was okay, but the booking for the show was so bad.
I think we both said like everybody that should have won lost, except for like one person. I don't remember who the one person was.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was so bad.
We got number 9 here.
Number 9, Kingston winning the Chikara Grand Championship and Gargano winning the BGUSA title. Freedom Gate Championship.
Yeah.
Pretty big deals in the indie scene. I'm a huge Gargano mark. He's a huge Kingston mark.
I like Gargano too.
But I'm not that's your boy Eddie Kingston, your promo guy. So this is Gargano being the first ever American to win the Freedom Gate Champion. I think that's a really big deal. And I think that really shows like where Dragon USA is going, or where they're trying to take the company to, and implementing more. This year was all about making American talent main event stars like the Japanese guys.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for DGUSA. But you're the Chikara guy, so I want to hear about Kingston.
I don't know. Kingston, I called just like this man right here. He called. I did. Mine was flat out called perfect. You can't say nothing.
What did I call it? That's what I want to know.
You said the TNA pay-per-view.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. But with this, when the 12 Large Summit has started, I said Eddie Kingston winning it all.
You did say that.
Eddie Kingston was going to win it all.
I did say Gargano was going to win the title though too. Before it happened. I said
I was
that
thinking
in September.
I was thinking.
So I called that too. So we basically called everything. Do high five. We just call shit.
But yeah, Kingston winning here. Great moment. Great match. I saw a pay-per-view live when it happened. Great show actually as well. But Kingston getting the win here definitely deserved it. I think Kingston's a guy that should have been in Ring of Honor, should have stayed in Ring of Honor. Definitely one of the best promo guys in the business. Definitely, I think Chikara has got their top guy when it comes to singles guys in Eddie Kingston, and hopefully he can stay healthy and be around a little bit longer. But same thing with Gargano. Gargano was great. I met him in person, cool guy. So, both those guys winning on the Indies is great. So I think that's a big story to me. All right, number 8 got Kevin Steen, the whole Kevin Steen saga this entire year. Everything he's done from leaving Ring of Honor, the stuff he's done in PWG, to coming back periodically through Ring of Honor, and what he did at Best in the World, which was amazing. The fuck Ring of Honor and all that, and it was great stuff. And then finally, getting back into the company at Final Battle this year, definitely the right move. Going to be the top heel in all of Ring of Honor, and not even to mention everything he's done in PWG. Definitely the MVP, I would say, of the Indies.
Oh, definitely. Wrestling like 2 or 3 times, for each PWG show. I think my favorite thing with Steen, though, for at least the Ring of Honor angle, is when he took over the message board. And I haven't found a link to the message board since. I think they just completely took it down. Like, that was their way of revamping it. Like, Kevin Steen took it over and put like a 5-minute video about him coming to Glory Bound. I don't know if you saw that.
I don't think I caught that.
I looked it up when I saw it. I went to the message board to see it, and it's like, we're down for maintenance. And then like a video popped up of like Kevin Steen talking about Steve Corino being a pussy and shit. It was good stuff. It was like, I took over this, and I have not found the message board yet. So we completely just cut off the message board for Ring of Honor.
I guess they got rid
that
of
should be just number 1.
Ring of Honor without a message board.
Ring of Honor. ROH. We're the best in day.
Man,
all right. Number 7, Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder and his just launch, his ascension, just we all were like, just when everyone's gonna be future endeavored here in April. Zack Ryder's like top of that list. Nope. Zack Ryder, he's the U.S. champion now. I mean, I started watching the show like episode 5. I was like, you gotta watch Z True Long Island Story. It's a really funny show. It's the greatest show. It's not the greatest show on YouTube, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty good for a while. It's kind of on off, but Zack Ryder's a perfect example of like someone getting over by themselves. Even though I think it was more Scott Stanford's doing because supposedly he wrote all the scripts. Yeah. But still, Zack Ryder has to play the character.
He created the character, yeah.
He plays his character to perfection, and I like Zack Ryder because he looks like he's a fan of just wrestling in general, and he marks out for stuff like the whole John Cena was on my show. John Cena was on my show for like just 5 seconds. He's like, John Cena gave me a high five. Yeah. That was the best thing, man.
Yeah, I think what Ryder's done this year is great. Getting himself over his character. I think a lot of times with wrestlers, some of the best wrestlers are guys who are fans, really big fans beforehand. The guy CM Punk, a huge fan before he was an actual wrestler. A lot of those guys that are some of the best guys today were huge fans, and they're still fans of wrestling. So that's what makes them so great. I think that's one thing that makes Ryder great. And
students of the game.
Students of the game, yeah. And Ryder's I definitely see him getting better and better and better, and who knows what he could do in the future if he sells a lot of merchandise and he's extremely over like he is still. Could be seeing some big stuff out of that. But next we got Dan Bryan finally breaking out here, winning the Money in the Bank, and then finally going on and winning World Heavyweight Championship. My only gripe about this, and I've said this to him before, is I felt like the build up to this was just really weak. They really made him look weak until he won the title, and then it's like they flip a switch. As soon as you win the title, you just start beating everybody.
That and the fact that he beat a face, Big Show, to do it. I don't know why they even gave the title to Big Show in the first. I can see them. They're now going to supposedly turn Big Show heel, but I think Bryan should have been the heel after that. It just makes no sense, like wrestling wise, like storyline wise at all to me. How Bryan could turn it on probably one of SmackDown's top faces, because they don't have a ton of top faces. And, he'd be like 3 or 4 on that list. Orton, Sheamus, Bryan, and Big Show are like the top 4 faces on SmackDown.
Yeah, there's literally no faces on SmackDown.
Really? So he did it. He did it on one of the top faces on SmackDown, and he's not heel. It's just the W Universe just is retarded. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. But number 5, Eddie Edwards winning the Ring of Honor title and Davey Richards winning the Ring of Honor title. We put these together. Davey was everybody's favorite indie darling in 2009 and 2010. Eddie kind of fell off a little bit this year, at least for me. I started to see the repetition. The same moves over and over again. His match style is the same basically each time. But you got to give it to the man. He beat his brother, his American Wolf partner, Eddie Edwards, for the title. It was a huge moment. It was a huge emotional moment. I didn't actually see Best in the World, but I watched all the promos leading up to it. The 4-minute promos with him talking about his grandparents and how wrestling was all he had. And it was really something sentimental, which we don't see in wrestling a lot this year. One of our things higher up on this list is more sentimental for me, but I can get the thing of just being a fan of somebody winning and not caring how great the match was, even though the match was, I heard, pretty epic.
Yeah. I've seen it. The match is great. The moments after are great, and definitely made that match definitely one of the top matches of the entire year. And Davey went in, and really Eddie Edwards, no one expected him to get the win and win like he did, and be the Ring of Honor champion and do everything he did. So it's great to see that. But definitely both these guys getting the title wins here and going on and being the two arguably the top main event guys in Ring of Honor. So see what they're going to do in 2012. All right, next one we got here is for number 4, Edge retiring / and I guess Christian winning the title. With this, this came out of nowhere. I really was not expecting Edge to retire. I had no idea he was hurt.
I don't think anybody did. It wasn't on the dirt sheets.
It was just out of nowhere. He ended up just retiring, and one of the best things that came out of this, which is sad to say, but one of the best things that came out of this was Christian finally getting his main event, push and winning the title, even though they took it away from him.
Which were both huge Christian marks. So it was the first time in a long time I've watched a match not caring about stars, just caring about somebody winning.
Yeah, just for Christian winning the title. I think also going on, and Christian doing, even though, his reign, it was not very big, and he, won it back, and he's won it twice, and both times it wasn't very great.
Yeah, it was kind
but
of crap.
He, personally, in my opinion, had definitely the best feud of the entire year with Randy Orton. Match quality-wise, storyline-wise, turning heel. So, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it.
I think the biggest thing they ruined for me is when they traded Alberto Del Rio over to Raw, so you kind of knew Christian was going to win. It was kind of an automatic thing for me. I think that hurt the moment a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been like 50-50, and I think I would have actually thought Del Rio was going to win that match. So I think that kind of hurt it. They could have traded over Del Rio later, but, I mean, other than that, I mean, it was a great moment. Number 3, Beer Money finally breaking out as single stars and both, getting to run with the TNA World Title, even though James Storm's run was like a week or 2.
Yeah. I mean, Beer Money finally breaking out here. 2, originals of TNA, and definitely getting their time to shine. One of the only really great things they've done this entire year for
really
TNA.
Probably one of the only good marks for TNA.
Yeah.
That and maybe Aries.
Yeah, those 3 things, absolutely. But I mean, Storm breaking out and basically getting his main event push, but kind of not with the title. He's kind of feuding with Kurt Angle. He won the title, but it was kind of out of nowhere. Rude finally getting the win and turning heel. I think this is definitely the best thing that they've done so far, and hopefully they get these 2 to actually feud in 2012, because I think it could be one of the top feuds in all of wrestling if they really do it right. So I'm really excited to see where they go with this, and that's definitely one of the bigger stories of the year, in my opinion. But right now we got number 2, the Rock Cena feud. Wow, this is something that has been building since WrestleMania, before WrestleMania last year, with all the stuff they did. I was telling him beforehand, I thought the way that it was built up, it kind of took the spotlight away from The Miz, who was actually in the match, and The Rock wasn't. I think they should have done The Rock versus Cena last year. I guess Rock couldn't come to terms, but they're actually going to do it now. I hope they still do a lot of the same stuff. Same type of stuff that they did last year to build up this feud, because a lot of that stuff was absolutely great. Some of the best promos and segments of the entire year, with The Rock and Cena doing stuff back and forth. So, I mean, I'm huge on this feud right now, and I'm definitely can't wait to see this match. It's probably the most excited I am.
Like I've said, this is the biggest match that wrestling probably has to offer right now. It's a huge deal. I don't necessarily like the way it's been built up. I feel like it's missing something, but I think once it comes around,
I know what it's missing. The Rock being there all the time. That's what missing.
Yeah, it's definitely missing that. He doesn't need to be there all the time, because I mean, it's obviously it's been like
it's
a
not gonna happen,
feud, and I mean, you can't. If he was there all the time, it would get really boring quick. But I mean, he's not been there enough for me. But I feel like when it gets around, Rumble, No Way Out, and WrestleMania, the lead up, they've got enough time.
Elimination Chamber. No Way Out.
No Way Out.
That's old school fan right there.
That is really just, now I sound like an idiot. Oh well, it doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, I mean, a big style match, big time matchup. In the vein of Rock Hogan. I mean, Cena will never be Hogan, but still, besides for Cena and Taker, or Lesnar and Taker, or Punk and Austin, that's about as big as it gets. And I really think The Rock and Cena is the biggest of all those matches.
Yeah.
Unless Lesnar comes back and Lesnar Taker, that would be pretty huge.
That's pretty big, yeah. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that there. Number 1 story of the entire year. Absolutely obvious with this one. CM Punk, everything that he's done this entire year. Pretty much solidifying himself as a guy who is going to grab the bull by the horns and do whatever he wants to do. And, he almost has that kind of feel like Zack Ryder, where he kind of just did what he wanted, and then people kind of gravitated to it. Some people don't like what he's doing now, but only liked him during the summer. I think it's an interesting back and forth with him, because I think they know that the ratings are kind of down because he's a champion. I don't know if it's just Punk or whatever it is, or quarterly end of the year kind of thing, but it wasn't that great, his run, apparently, and they might be taking it away from him. But
Dolph Ziggler maybe could be one of the
Dolph Ziggler, but Punk, the story this year, the promo, the matches that he had, the best match. It's great.
He became a face just by having a microphone for a week. I mean, they gave him the microphone, and that's a natural turn right there. Yeah. So I mean, Punk
wasn't
obviously
forced or
was a
anything.
Huge deal. The Money in the Bank moment was completely epic.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous crowd involvement. I mean, I'm a little upset by the build afterwards, but whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a good time here. So like I said, Mad Scientist, MVPScheer, RSTS Express Wrestling, signing out. Top 10 stories, and we're out of here. Peace.
Later.